Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Monday edition. Morning Scone presented by Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. And of course, Restored Motions. If you have pain, go see my girl Crystal Poche over at Restored Motions. She will take you out of it. Do not live in chronic pain. Okay, it is the Saints lose the Bengals 30-26. Kind of becoming a little bit of an all too familiar theme here, where we're coming here every Monday and talking about Saints losses and close losses in games where they had their chances to win and haven't been able to get it done. And I saw a kind of incredible statistic last night about the Saints game. Excuse me. And I'll share it with you here. So prior to Sunday, there had been 406 teams in the Super Bowl era who allowed at least 228 rushing yards, at least 26 points, and lost the turnover battle. Those teams were 4-402. Now they are 5-402 because the Bengals beat the Saints despite allowing more than 228 rushing yards, 26 points, and losing the turnover battle. The Saints' loss to Tampa was very frustrating because that was a game where you really felt like you had two teams battling. It was Mark Ingram fumbled the 10-yard line when it looks like you're going in to take control of the game. The fight happened. We all know what happened there. So that one got away from you. The game against Carolina was just awful. You were playing with a quarterback with a broken back. Your offense did nothing. You turned the ball over. You gave them points. It was just terrible. Just a terribly played game that you were a better team than they were, but you played so badly you didn't deserve to win. The game in London, you were shorthanded, but you fought, had your chances, couldn't finish it. And of course, you won last week, and then the Cincinnati game is the one that's the most discouraging because you played better than they did. You had a great game plan. You did all the things that you were supposed to do to win, and your strongest unit, your defense, couldn't get off the field in big moments. So for the Saints now, excuse me, your season comes down to Thursday. And I'm not trying to be melodramatic here, but you're 2 games below 500. And yes, you're in a bad division, and that's the only reason that there's any saving grace right now. Because typically, let's say if Tampa were running away with the division right now, and they were 5-1, and you're 2-4, and you're 3 games behind them, and they've got you head to head, which effectively is like a 4-game deficit. Like you don't have enough games to make that up, and you're not going to be a wild card. So your path to the playoffs, this team's path to the playoffs, is to win the division. And as grim as things look right now at 2-4, you're a game behind Tampa and Atlanta. They're both 3-3. And I just detailed games that you could have, you had opportunities to win. So you play in a terrible division, which is your saving grace. But at 2-4, if you lose on Thursday and fall to 2-5, and you're 2 games behind Tampa and Atlanta, and Atlanta, God bless, but whatever. Look at their schedule. If you lose on Thursday and either of those teams win on Sunday, and you fall into the scenario that we just talked about, where you're 3 games back, and you lose a tiebreaker to Tampa. You're basically 4 games back with 10 to play. There's not enough. You can't make it up. You can't make up that ground. So Thursday really is your season. I mean, you have to win that game on Thursday. So if you don't, if you don't win that game on Thursday, it really is like you just have to start thinking about the future, and that's super discouraging because I think a lot of people had, good expectations for this team, and I'm one of them. I mean, I didn't think they'd win the division, but I did pick them 10-7. I picked them as a wild card team, and I thought they could make some noise in the playoffs. We've seen wild card teams win the Super Bowl before, but man, they have been snake bitten with injuries again, and in big moments, unfortunately, the defense has let them down. So, and defense was supposed to be the cornerstone of this team, and they're not. So, really disappointing loss, man. Very, very disappointing. To have so much go your way in that game. I thought Pete Carmichael called a great game. I don't know how anybody could look at that game and say offense is why you lost the game. I get it. Look, you had 4 trips into the red zone, and you ended up kicking 4 short field goals. Convert one of those into a touchdown, and you win the game. But you didn't. But still, to run for over 200 yards, they basically gifted you a score by just dropping that punt. I mean, the guy that dropped the punt didn't even fumble it. I mean, like, he wouldn't even hit. He just was running, and just the ball popped out while he was running. Just gave you the ball back. It's a bummer. So, okay, we'll say some good mornings here. It's LSU Ole Miss week. Saints against short week. They're in Arizona. All right, here we go. Hunter Eilers, morning Scone, amazing LSU win this week. Tiger fans showed up to the swamp. Truex, what's good? Ryan, Amanda Guidry, Jordan Smith, David Coslin, Bubba Tatum. Trey Patan, good morning. Early thoughts on the Ole Miss game. Bubba, I'm sorry. Okay, hang on. You started a comment and then, hang on. Hey, Dad, good morning. Bubba said, need some love from the Scone fam this morning. Baby girl's in the hospital with a nasty leg injury. Possible surgery. Daddy is fried. Oh, Bubba, I'm sorry to hear that, man. What happened? Yeah, man, look, we'll obviously say prayers for your daughter. If everybody watching could take a moment today and lift up Bubba's family and certainly his daughter who might be going into surgery. That's sorry to hear that, man. We certainly will. Sandy Singleton, Kelly Gross, good morning. Marty Savoy, morning from Marty and my son Maddox in Houston. Nice and cool this morning. Good win, very nice play from Jaden. Looked like complete quarterback receiver play in this game, both in the short and long throws. Yeah, man, by far the best game offensively LSU's played. And my hope is they're able to carry that forward here. That maybe that was the one that sort of broke the seal, and that's because I think that's what we saw on Saturday. I think is what a lot of us expected offensively from this team throughout the year. And we hadn't really seen through the first half of the season, but you saw on Saturday. I'll tell you, there are going to be plays to be had against Ole Miss. I've told you all that before. I told you that last week that I was picking LSU to beat Ole Miss, and I'm picking LSU to beat Ole Miss. I get that Ole Miss is ranked in the top 10. I think they're 7th. They're undefeated, but we've talked about Ole Miss being undefeated since July. We've talked about Ole Miss coming to Baton Rouge undefeated. We basically look, if they beat Kentucky, they're probably coming to Baton Rouge undefeated. And they did. They beat Kentucky, and it was, forced a late turnover against Levis to get the ball out and win that, and hang on and win that game. And so they're coming here undefeated, and I think LSU is going to beat Ole Miss on Saturday. Trivia Carter, good morning, Matt Lusto. At this point, I'm glad I wasn't able to watch the Hootats yesterday. It was a bummer. Eric Bertrand, Elite Goods, Tim Gotro. When we didn't cover that third down, a convert on the second to last drive, I knew from my experience the Burrow chase dagger to the heart was incoming. Yeah, I mean, Blake Gillikin with the shank, punt, short field, first down, a sideline route to Jamar Chase. He broke a tackle on Bradley Roby, and then Tyrann Mathieu couldn't get him out of bounds. Elite Goods, Cliff Nelson, good morning. Larry Garner, Devin Kelly, good morning. Been up since the crack of dawn. Trivia, look how shocked I am at the Saints loss. Samuel Smith, the only hope is Sean Payton comes back to coaching, we get a first rounder. You know what, Samuel? I think Sean Payton is going to coach next year. I don't know what compensation the Saints will get for him. And flatly, even if you get a first rounder, is that going to make this team dramatically better? What is that? Whirl Eye Space? I don't know what that is. Brian, I don't need a riddle this morning. Donovan Peterson, Dane Bergeron, Brad David. I thought you were crazy media days when you said Ole Miss will come to Baton Rouge undefeated. Turns out you were right. Talked about that. Look, man, I'm gonna go find that audio because it was Richard Cross from Super Talk Mississippi who said it. And we looked at the schedule together, and I was like, oh my God, yeah, they could. Brian Wynn, is Jamar Chase that fast, or did Tyrann Mathieu take a bad angle? Good question, Brian. I mean, Jamar Chase is that fast, and Tyrann probably did take a bad ankle, but I would have to see the All-22 to see if Tyrann took a bad angle. It sort of looked like Tyrann could have got him out of bounds. That's just very disappointing. But honestly, I don't know that it matters. I mean, the fact that they scored quickly at least gave you another shot offensively, right? Reed Rule, morning, Matt. At what point should Savion Jones be getting majority of the snaps over Ali Gay? He's been the better player this year. Yeah, we've talked about that a little bit, Reed. I disagree with you on that. I think the hard part and look, I can ask Brian Kelly at the press conference today, but I think the hard part is when you look at what Matt House is doing defensively, he's not asking his defensive linemen to make plays. It's basically a 3-4 where your defensive linemen are space eaters to free up your fast athletic linebackers to go make tackles. That's why, I mean, Mekhi Wingo is kind of the blow up the launch pad guy like we've talked about. You're not hearing Jaquelin Roy's name called a bunch, and that's the same thing. The way that they kind of refer to it is as the big end. So Ali Gay, it's not like in a 4-3 where it's, hey, put your hand in the dirt and come off the edge and make plays. It's occupy a couple of blocks to free up that linebacker to range and make plays. Look at your leading tacklers, Baskerville, then Greg Penn, then Jay Ward, then Greg Brooks, then Harold Perkins. Mekhi Wingo is your leading tackler among defensive linemen with 26. Then it's Jark Bernard Converse, Ojulari, then Roy at 21. Then Garner, Jones, Burns, Weeks. Then there's Ali Gay with 15. He's got 2 tackles for loss and a sack, a pass breakup, and 2 forced fumbles. So I don't know how you look at Ali Gay and say he's not playing well. He's just being asked in this defense to do different things. But as far as your point about Savion Jones, I think Savion Jones is a really good player, and that's really encouraging moving forward because Ali Gay will be in the NFL next year, and Savion has proven, man, you're going to have should have a really easy transition there because he's been really good. Brad David, do you think if LSU played Florida State again today, they would win? I don't know, man. Some of the special teams mistakes are still popping up. But look, I'll point out also, remember the first drive of that game, LSU had a goal-to-go situation, snapped the ball 15 yards over Jaden Daniels' head. I don't think that would happen today. So maybe get a touchdown there instead of a field goal. So I think there's some things that would happen, but candidly, Florida State might be better today than they were week 1 too. But I mean, sure. Be kind. Good morning, Dave Vendur. Good morning, Jay Benoit. Good morning, LSU Daily Podcast. Yeah, man, if y'all haven't subscribed, please subscribe up to LSU Daily. Do appreciate it. Oh, by the way, today we are going to record. So if y'all haven't been checking it out, I do a podcast every week. It's an NIL podcast called Rosters to Riches. It's me and Jonathan Pixley from Matchpoint. We basically turned it into an interview series where every week we interview somebody different to talk, about the NIL space. Today we're interviewing Matt McMahon. And so that episode will drop tomorrow, but LSU basketball coach Matt McMahon. So we'll talk some basketball and NIL stuff, so I'm looking forward to that. Stu 3, blown away by the lack of Taysom Hill in the game plan. He didn't see the field the last 2 drives of the game. So Stu 3, I'll tell you, man, to say you're blown away by the lack of Taysom Hill is kind of incredible because Taysom Hill was on the field the entire game. Now, those last 2 drives, I could hear an argument, that he should have, that they should have integrated him at the end. But it's funny how a lot of times you hear moaning from Saints fans whenever you see the Taysom Hill package and it doesn't work. Like, why do they keep doing that? I thought they were super creative yesterday. Taysom with design throws, design runs. I mean, it was Hill was 2 of 4 for 16 yards passing. He ran 5 times for 39 yards. So I mean, that's 9 plays where he touched the ball of your 71. I mean, that's good distribution. As always, I'll shout out to Brock, the Bounders Orthopedic Clinic. Brock, Hudco, Restored Motions, all tagged in the Facebook post. brortho.com. Of course, if you need an orthopedist, go to Brock. Need a roof, call us at Hudco, hudcoroofing.com. Hudco is pinned there in the chat. Would love it if you'd fill out the contact form. We'll give you a free, no-obligation roofing inspection. And, of course, Restored Motions, if you have any type of pain that you're dealing with, chronic or otherwise, just book a session with Crystal Poche. You'll be glad you did. RestoredMotions.com. Brant Roban, morning. I can't believe LSU is 1 win away from being tied for first in our division. Very impressive what Brian Kelly's been able to accomplish with what he inherited. What a difference a week makes, right? Glenn Thomasy, Harold Perkins was robbed of his strip sack fumble. If you show the same footage to 100 refs to review, 98 will say fumble. Mimi and Ward, Mobile, good morning. Love seeing Taysom Hill and Joey B yesterday. Cheer for both. Mark Vitanovich, good morning. Randy Smith, 2022 is beginning to remind me of 2000, 2001 together. In 01, LSU loses back-to-back, Tennessee and Florida. Yeah, and they got better and better. We've talked about that a bunch. About this, we're kind of looking a lot like the 2000 season. I don't know that it reminds me too much of 01. 2000 got better, but you forget 2000 had a 4-game winning streak. They lost to Tennessee. I'm sorry, they lost at Auburn, then lost to UAB, beat Tennessee, got blown out by Florida, won 4 in a row, and then turned around and lost to Arkansas like 14-3 in a cold game up in War Memorial Stadium. Adam Andre, Oh, Bubba said she got her knee taken out at the trampoline park during her own birthday party. Ugh. Sorry to hear that, man. Be looking for an update later today, all right? Or maybe tomorrow if you can. Johnny Troxler, good morning. Jeremy Sagely, good morning. Just a couple more minutes, y'all. I'm sorry, I was a little late getting started today. Marty, for someone that has been to the swamp, the streak against the Gators feels great. The offense Saturday had a slight glimpse of 2019. Quick passes beating them over the top. Stephen Dufour, Saints just aren't very good. Played well. Bengals are better. Gary Petrie, LSU. Should LSU rethink position of the special teams coach? Hey, man, I think that's going to happen at the end of this year. At this point, I don't know how you justify him returning. Michael Thacker, morning, Scone. Have you kept up with McLaughlin much at Arkansas? I've kept an eye on him when I've watched Arkansas play. I know he's got a few picks this year. I watched the game the other day against BYU. They did call him for a PI. Anyway. Craig Duga, I know I rag on Edward O all the time, but it's good to see him keying in on his next dream job with the Irish. Yeah, Ed Ogeron was in South Bend for the Notre Dame Stanford game. I was like fist bumping all the players as they were walking to the stadium. Yeah, and Louis Bergeron said, Matt, too many injuries for the Saints. It's true, Louis, but here's the reality, man. In the NFL, nobody's gonna feel sorry for you. Like, everybody's a pro. You just have to go play. You know, I mean, everybody's getting paid. You have to go play. You have to go execute. And yeah, look, the Saints were without their top 4 receivers. They were without their best cornerback. I mean, does that hurt? Absolutely, that hurts. But you know, look at Rashid Shaheed. I mean, Deontay Hardy's out. This guy's an undrafted free agent. They put him in. Runs a freaking jet sweep and scores 44 yards. Looked awesome. Zigging and zagging and just racing past people like legit speed. I mean, yeah, you got to go make plays, man. So, yeah, the injuries stink, but everybody's a pro. I mean, you got Chris Harris running out there playing starter reps at cornerback. 33 years old. He's been with the team for like 10 days. Got to go do it, man. All right, y'all, it's 8 o'clock. My apologies. I got to get rolling. I'm sorry if I missed you. I'm going to try to get an LSU Daily recorded today. I should be able to. I know the last couple weeks have been tough for me to get an LSU Daily recorded on Monday, and I apologize for that. But I'm trying to get an LSU Daily recorded today. We will have a new Rosters to Riches tomorrow with Matt McMahon. AFR at 3, Brian Kelly press conference at noon, some Monday Night Football, so looking forward to all that. Thanks as always for watching. We appreciate y'all. Please, YouTube, smash that like button if you haven't done so yet. Subscribe up to the channel, Facebook. Please like the Matt Moscona page, share this post. We appreciate you. And as always, shout out to Brock, Hudco, and Restored Motions. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you. Peace.